Hello, everybody. My guest today is Scott Brandley. He is the CEO and co-founder of a company called Shopper Approved. He's a lifelong entrepreneur and has been building software for over 20 years. He co-founded the company in 2010 and in 2016 made the Inc. 500 list. In 2017, they made the list again and were also number 7 on the Utah 100 list, all with no outside funding or investors, which I love. Scott, are you ready to take us to the top?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so if you did the whole Inc. thing, your numbers are public. What'd you do in revenue last year alone, 2016?
We did about 4.7 million.
Oh, sorry, and that was 2016 or 2017?
2017.
And what was 2016?
3.7, 3.8.
Okay, and what do you think you'll break this year?
We're on track to do over 6.
That's pretty good. Okay, so call, what is that? 50% year-over-year growth is good. Bootstrap. Tell me about the company. What do you do?
So we've actually been developing software for a long time. We've built over 30 different software products, and Shopper Approved is our biggest one. So we're kind of unique in that respect. Where
who is we though, Scott? Is this an agency you launched with some buddies or what?
No. So I first started out with my dad. We built some companies called TrustGuard, Rhino Support, FreePrivacyPolicy.com. And then in 2010, I started building Shopper Approved with one of the people that worked for us. His name is Garrett Pearson, and we ended up becoming business partners, and we've built other software companies since then.
Oh, interesting. So what do you focus most of your time on now? Doing this consulting work, launching software, or do you focus on Shopper Approved exclusively?
Me personally, I focus mostly on Shopper Approved, and then my other business partners focus on the other companies.
Okay, so tell us more about Shopper Approved. What's it doing, and how do you make money?
So Shopper Approved is kind of unique. There's 2 different types of review companies online: active review companies and passive review companies. Passive are more like when consumers can go leave a review on any company. What we do is active reviews, or business-driven reviews, where the business hires us to collect reviews for them. And that way we collect reviews from everyone equally, which we feel gives a better score.
Interesting. Okay, and how do you make money?
So we charge the businesses a monthly fee.
Okay, on average, what do they pay per month?
It depends on the size of the business, but I would say between 100 and 150 a month.
Okay, 100, 150. That's healthy. And what are they paying for? Like the ability for you to collect reviews on them?
Yes, so they pay for our review collection service and then our syndication service. We actually have partnerships with Google, Yahoo, and Bing. Mm-hmm. And some other companies where we syndicate their reviews to those sites. So if you go to Google and you see 5-star listings next to a pay-per-click ad, we're one of about 10 companies that have the ability to do that.
Now, let me ask you a question. As a CEO running a brick and mortar location, generally only pissed off people leave reviews. I would never pay someone $100 to make those shitty reviews more public, but it sounds like you've convinced people to do that.
Yeah, so that's the difference, right? Like that's mostly the passive review companies, because passive reviews are skewed negatively, right? So like if you, for example, like Newegg, right? Everyone's heard of Newegg.
Yep.
If
it's an electronics store, right?
Yeah. So if you go to like Trustpilot and people are just leaving passive reviews that are pissed off, their score is like 1.2. But if you go to like reseller ratings who Newegg hires to actively collect reviews for them, their score is like 4.9.
Oh, interesting. So your whole pitch is we'll put some human touch on this and get your people who love you, get them to take the time to write the review to counter the negative stuff.
Exactly. We give everyone an equal chance to write a review, good or bad, and we don't incentivize those reviews, which ends up giving customers the most accurate representation of the company.
Fascinating. When did you launch the company?
2010.
And what have you scaled to today in terms of total customers?
We've passed 7,000 customers.
7,000. Those are actual paying customers.
Yes, actual paying customers.
That's great. I mean, so if I take the 700 times the 150, can I back into that would say $1 million a month in revenue. I don't think you're that big yet, right?
No, because what we've done, and I don't know if every company does this, but as we've grown and our prices have increased, we've grandfathered our clients in at the prices that they originally paid.
Got it. Well, that's really, really smart. Last month, what did you do in total revenue, just in the month?
Close to 500,000.
Okay, 500,000. Got it. So yeah, that helps me understand how much legacy kind of grandfathering you have. Because if I take the 500,000 divided by 7,000, that's an average ARPU of I think about $70 a month. But what you're saying are new people you're adding are paying your updated price points, which are between 100 and 150 a month.
Yes.
What about churn?
Churn is 0.08%.
You did your homework. Do you listen to the show?
Yeah, but the reason I did my homework is because we almost sold out a couple of years ago, and Goldman Sachs made us figure it out.
That's hysterical. Why did you? Well, first off, that 0.08 number, what is that, logo churn per month?
Yeah, that's monthly churn rate. Yeah,
but is that logo or revenue churn?
That is revenue.
Oh, revenue churn. Okay, so you're at about what does that come out? So you're at about 1% annual revenue churn. 0.08 times 12 months.
No, it's 10%. Well, what we do is we do 0.08 times 12. Well, we add it up over the year, but it ends up to be about 10%.
Okay.
For the year.
Just to be clear though, 0.08% churn times 12, I think comes out to 1% churn, not 10% annual churn.
Okay, so it's 0.8 of 1%.
Got it. Yeah. That's fair enough. Okay, so each year, that's okay. So each year you're churning about 10% of your revenue. That's actually really low. That's a healthy business.
Yeah, thanks.
Are you driving any expansion revenue, or you just have one price point?
We have a pay-as-you-grow pricing model.
Oh, I love that, pay-as-you-grow.
Yeah. What we found is that our customers are very sticky. And so when we get almost 100% of our revenue is driven by by call centers, direct calls to to different businesses. And so what we do is we can actually project how many reviews they'll get within a year, and then we lock them in at a fixed rate for life.
That's really smart. Now, what are you paying to bring on these customers in the first place? What's your CAC?
It's about $400.
And where are you spending that $400 typically?
In our call center.
Got it.
So what? Because we didn't have any money when we started, and we wanted to go the call center route. What we figured is because our churn rate was so low, if we paid most of the first year's revenue to our sales agents, we could make up the difference in the following years. Yep. And it's been really successful for us.
Well, even at $400 CAC and $70 and $100 a month price point, when you're getting your money back in four months, that's a healthy payback period.
Right. Yeah.
You're still bootstrapped, right?
Oh yeah, we're kind of anti-VC at this point. Everybody else in our industry is sold out, and we're the only ones that haven't.
What's your team size today?
We're less than 30, which is kind of cool because like Trustpilot and Yotpo, they've had over 100 million in VC, and they have between 300 to 500 employees, and we have less than 30, and we're neck and neck with them.
Are you killing them?
We're on the same level.
Come on, Scott. You're a killer deep down. I want to bring the killer out.
So what's funny is like they do these press releases like, yeah, we just hired 550 people, right? And we're like, what the crap do they do every day?
Yeah, when I see press releases like that, I see we just added 550 in expense to our P&L.
Right.
Now we're burning more every month. So let me ask you a question. You said you almost sold out to Goldman Sachs. What year did you almost sell out?
That was 2014.
And so you were doing $2.5 million a year at that point or something like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And why was Goldman touching that? That seems like a small deal.
It was actually we were actually going to sell to another rating and review company, and Goldman Sachs was backing them. And so they made us follow the same rules.
So they were basically doing due diligence for a company that they were behind.
Yeah.
And what happened?
So the deal, it took almost a year to do, and at the very end, it just fell apart. And thank goodness it did, because we took off after that, and it's been so much fun.
What happened though? I mean, did you walk away, or they changed the price? They lowered the price, or what?
We got to the end of the negotiation. And Goldman Sachs had their worst month in history. And they just decided to shut down the deal.
I assume it's far enough back now you can talk about this. I mean, what was the deal size? Are we talking like a $2 million deal, a $10 million, a $20 million?
It was $12 million.
Okay, so it was about 6x your revenue at the time, which is a fairly healthy multiple for you, $12 million. Now, did the company that was buying it, that Goldman was backing, did the company already have that money in the bank, or was Goldman going to have to invest more to fund the acquisition?
I think they had part of it, and Goldman was going to come and back the rest.
Interesting. Really interesting. So that deal fell through. Good thing for you guys. You're still bootstrapped. You're less than 30 people. Put your capitalist hat on for a second. How do you make yourself filthy rich from this?
I don't know if I want to say because I don't want my competition to hear.
Well, what I mean is strategically, how do you and your co-founders and maybe even your employees personally pull money out of the company? Like, how do you make yourself wealth from this besides having it all locked up?
So the company's very, it's very profitable at this point.
Like how much to the bottom line? What, 10, 20% to the bottom line?
More.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, way more than that. But so what we've been doing is taking the money out and investing it into other companies.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so I'm going to make this up. Let's say you do 5 million in the next year, and let's say 50% goes to the bottom line, 2.5 million. You'll probably keep some of that in there so you have some runway. But let's say you pull 2 million out. What is the vehicle that 2 million goes into, and how do you make decisions about what companies to invest in?
So because we've been developing software for so long, we actually have a very specific process that we follow to validate ideas and then to build them. And so we know going through that validation process, we're pretty confident what businesses we want to get into and how they're going to turn out over time. So that's kind of the determining factor of the businesses that we are going into in the future.
What space do you like to get into? Give me the criteria.
Everything so it's got to be sexy, it's got to be sticky, it's got to have recurring revenue. We have to be able to sell it in a call center. It has to be able to be developed within 6 months, and it has to have low customer support.
Interesting. So when you say it has to be sold in a call center, that means the price point has to be not high enough to support that touch, right?
Right. Yeah.
What do you think the minimum is?
About $100 recurring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really interesting. And so how many deals have you done?
Like how many different companies?
Yeah.
So we've built over 30, but we probably have 5 that are currently actively running and we're building. And
average revenue like sub $1 million, or are these scaling pretty quick?
There's a couple that are around $1 million. There's some in the 6-figure range, and then those are the ones that we're just building and getting to the higher level.
How do you exit some of those? Are you interested in selling any of them?
No.
So how do you manage all of them at once?
I hire amazing people.
In Ogden?
So we build systems, and then we hire project managers to run each individual company.
Fascinating. But you hold all the cap table, which is great.
Right.
That's smart. I love it. Scott is a smart man. Scott, let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, what's the last business book you read?
I wasn't expecting that.
What's your favorite business book?
I'm going to have to say my own book, Software Secrets, because when we wrote the book, it helped us solidify our processes to help us be more successful.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Russell Brunson. I love him to death. I love everything he does, and I love his integrity.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building your business?
Has to be Google Docs. I use it every day.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
7.
And what's your situation? Married, single, you have kids?
I'm married. I have 4 kids.
Okay, and how old are you?
42.
Okay, last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
I wish I would have appreciated the journey more.
Enjoy the journey. You guys heard it here from Scott. He's now going all in his latest venture called Shopper Approved. It is a ratings system essentially that allows people to leave good and bad ratings. They get all of them tied into one. Scaling quickly, almost sold it for $12 million back in 2013. Thankfully, they did not. It fell apart. Company's launched in 2010. They're now 30 people in Utah, bootstrapped, serving 7,000 customers, paying on average $71 a month. So last month did about $500,000 in revenue, hoping to break $6 million in ARR by the end of this year. Only churning about 10% of their revenue annually, which is healthy. Paying $400 to acquire these customers, getting paid back in the first 4 months. Healthy economics, healthy money velocity. Scott, thank you for taking us to the top.
You bet. Thanks, Nathan.